friends? Are we streaming? Yeah, I think we are live. Okay, cool. Hello, hello. Can't tell if I'm live or not. I think I am. Happy Monday. That is the case. Yes, I am live. Great. Let's get set up. Alright, let's get set up here. Sorry, that might have been a really loud, terrible sound. Lucy, want to come in? Alright, friends. Yeah, so, I mean, really to get set up, all you need is a space to practice. I'll just close the door because we have lots of flames that go overhead. How down does he get? Yep. Okay. And, grab your dog. So, really all you need is yourselves for this. Is music loud? Maybe that's better. Okay, so we're here to just practice yoga and meditation, just kind of set intentions here on this Monday for this week. I'm just going to take it easy today. So I might grab a glass of water or some tea. Roll out a yoga mat, or you can always practice just on the floor, or even with like a beach towel or anything like that. And yeah, it's pretty low tech. So we'll start with a seated meditation, grounding meditation. Then roll into some movement, some yoga poses, functional movement, joint resiliency, and lymphatic shaking, breath of joy. We'll end with a nice long shavasana final relaxation pose, reclining meditation. I'll lead you through that and play some crystal singing bowls for you. If there's anything that shows up for you that you'd like to specifically work on, any body parts that maybe have been bothering you, or any poses that you've been working towards getting into, you can just drop them in the chat and I will do my best to incorporate that into our class today, into our practice. So, don't need music for this. We'll start seated up nice and tall. And I'm just sitting cross-legged on the ground. Put a little folded blanket below my hips, so just to elevate my hips a bit compared to my knees. All right. Heart comes over hips, head over heart, like there's a string pulling you up from the crown of your head towards the sky. staying nice and tall in the spine. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close or lower to a soft gaze just beyond your legs. We'll begin with 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and an audible sigh out the mouth, shoulders drop away, relaxed. Now let the breath continue in and out through the nose if that's available. Returning to a natural breath's pace. And we'll take a moment here just to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment. Here in this space. Begin to allow sounds into your awareness. There might be sounds at a distance, passing traffic or singing birds. Or the sounds might be from within your home, the running of a refrigerator, or humming of a light. Letting all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. Just get a general sense of how the body feels in this moment. And we'll scan the body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tension or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. Just taking a note to work into those spaces that call out for your attention throughout your movement practice here today. We'll shift the awareness from the body, Annamaya Kosha, to the energetic level, Pranamaya Kosha. Just noticing energetically where you're at in this moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed, 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. And shift the attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. Noticing the quality of the breath, how deep or shallow, symmetrical or uneven the breath might be. It's not good or bad, just something to notice. We'll shift that awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise freely here. But no need to engage, just observing what shows up from a distance. Notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. From here, we'll bring the attention back down to the breath. Actively expanding the breath here. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhales fill the belly like a balloon inflating, expanding. Exhales drop belly button in towards spine. Inhales fill belly and ribs with air. Exhale releases ribs and belly. Inhale fills belly, ribs, and chest, air filling all the way up until the collarbones. And exhales release chest, ribs, and belly contract. Just 3-part breath. Inhaling belly and up. Exhaling chest and down. Dirga Pranayam, 3-part breath. We'll work on that. You might close your eyes, let your jaw be relaxed, space between the teeth. Allow the breath to deepen and slow down. When your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to the 3 parts. Now your next exhale, releasing any effort from the breath, returning to a natural breath space, perhaps a bit slower, a bit deeper than when you first started the exercise. Dirga Pranayam helps to open up new spaces for the breath and deepen our relationship to access the breath. Bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressed into the sternum. No space between the fingers. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice, your reason for showing up to the mat today. And the invitation is just to set that in the positive and affirmative tense as if it's happening here in the present. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. So you're invited to chant along with me, of course. First, a cleansing breath. Our hands to release to your lap and chin drops towards chest. Inhaling, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin releases down towards chest and head rolls over towards left shoulder. Just allowing the head to gently roll side to side here, beginning to open up the space inside of the neck. Then extend the head, rolls through center. Good morning, M9 Easy. How are you, my friend? How are you feeling? And bring it up through center. And begin working on some neck rolls here. So I'm just turning to the side so you can see the movement, but you can stay facing forward. So we're staying seated up nice and tall. Chin drops down towards chest. Nose reaches towards the ground, forward towards the wall in front, and up towards the sky above. Back towards the wall behind, and tucks back in towards chest. So we're leading with the nose, drawing a circle. Just opening up the space in the cervical spine, your neck. Slowing down and smoothing out this movement to really get to the edge of your range of motion. We'll change directions. Chin reaches up towards the sky, forward towards the wall in front, and down towards the ground. Scooping the chin back in. Continue this motion. Last one, finishing up this cycle. Back to center. And we'll just begin to roll the shoulders forward. Opening up the space in the upper back between the shoulder blades. So we're just warming up the body from head down towards toes right now. Roll the shoulders back. Opening the space in the chest. Stillness in the shoulders. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bending over to the right. Left arm reaches over. Sweep it over to the other side. Just big lateral sweeps and movements, connecting it through breath. So we inhale through center and exhale to bend. Inhale to center, exhale to bend. Putting out the space between our rib cage, between our ribs, the intercostal muscles. Once more to the left. We'll meet back in center. Deep breath in here. And exhaling is a high twist to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, and we twist the shoulders open towards the side wall. Inhale back up through center. And exhale, twist left. Following the breath in to rise. And out to twist. Spinal twists are really good for the health of the spine. Just incorporating them daily into your life can help alleviate a lot of back pain that we feel. Last time to the left. Through center, we'll bend in the elbows and hands come to ear height. Wave out the hands. Warm up the wrists here before putting weight on them. And hands flip down. Wiggling the fingers from side to side. Get any clicks and cracks out of the system now. Palms flip towards the sky. Really reaching the hands back like your fingertips are going to touch your forearm. We're reaching, fingers spread wide, and then just rotate the hands. And like shaking off water, nice and gentle. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's wake up the lower body a bit here. Extend the legs out in front of you. Even if you're in a chair, you can work on just rolling out, maybe. Rolling out the ankles, spreading and scrunching the toes. Change directions. So we're just building up that endurance to sit cross-legged for that long, but it's going to take a minute. So don't get, there's no rush. Don't feel too frustrated if you have to come uncross your legs in between that meditation. It just takes time. Feet come nice and wide. We'll just drop the knees side to side, just beginning to wake up the hips. Legs are far enough apart that your feet don't stack on top of one another. We're going to send it over to the right. We'll bring the hands to frame this knee, coming into our tabletop pose. Just gonna chat. Can I have my spot? Thank you. Hands come underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cat pose, or for cow pose rather. And exhaling, round in the spine for a cat pose, pressing the ground away. Inhale for cow, hands pressed down and back, knees pressed down and forward like you're trying to scrunch your mat together. That'll give you a grip to arch the spine even more. And exhaling, we press the ground down and forward with the hands, down and back with the knees like you're trying to spread your mat apart. Get a nice grip for cat pose. We begin to connect this movement with the breath, so calibrating the speed of the body with the length of the breath. Now for your next exhale through cat pose, return to neutral tabletop pose. From here, let's turn the hands out to the side and back, and back. Fingers are spread wide, and the palms are still touching the ground. We'll we'll just start to slowly lean back and forward, just building up some wrist resiliency today. Here, we're just leaning back and forward. We lean back as far as we can go without lifting the palms. So it should feel intense, but not sharp and painful. Next time we lean back, we just find that edge and hold it here. So we're holding the shape, but not the breath. We're still breathing fully, even through the discomfort of this stretch. Now shift the weight forward. Unturn the hands, tuck the toes under, and sitting back on the heels. Might give your wrists a little bit of a massage, fingers interlace, and you can just figure eights with the hands here. Shake off water, nice and gentle. 3, 2, 1. Then hands release onto the mat. Let's step the right foot forward and the left foot forward. Let's come to the edges of the mat. Nice and wide stance. And sink the hips really deep for a deep squat. So hips are heavy, chest and head are light. And then extend the legs long. Head is heavy for forward fold. So we're going to go between these two. Malasana, deep squat, and Uttanasana, forward fold. It doesn't have to be your deepest squat of your life or the most perfect forward fold of your life. We're just waking the body up to these shapes and to these positions. So next time we're in this deep squat position, I'm just going to turn so you can see, we're going to stay here, letting the hips be very heavy and the head be very light, leaning back almost like your back is pressed up against a wall, and hands come to heart center. Bring your elbows to the inside of the knees, and we're going to use the elbows to press the knees open, and then let them relax. Open, and relax. So my hands are in prayer in Anjali Mudra, and they're just pressing down towards making the forearms 180 degrees, just a straight line across, and up to release. 2, 1. Nice, so here we are in our deep squat, good posture, pressing the elbows into the knees for leverage, full breath here. And we'll release the hands down to the mat and extend the legs long. Release the head heavy. We'll come into our ragdoll pose and give the head a nod yes. Give it a shake no. Might grab opposite elbows and give your whole body a sway side to side. So we're really using the weight of the head and the shoulders to give the back of the legs and the spine a stretch. There's not really any wrong movements here, just a little free movement. You release the arms and heel toe the feet in towards one another. Big toes come to touch with a little space between the ankles. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolls you all the way up to standing. Bring a little bend to the knees for that transition. Arms sweep up overhead when you get there. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, little bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground, and right foot takes a giant step back. Make sure the left knee's over the left ankle. We'll gently release the right knee down to the mat. Untuck or we can keep those toes tucked under actually. And sweep it up to a low lunge. Anjali asana. So hips are pressing down and forward to get a stretch on the front right thigh, front right hip as well. And arms are reached up towards the sky. And release the hands down and extend the left leg long. So I'm bringing my hips up over my bent right knee for Ardha Hanumanasana half split pose. Here you can give a little windshield wiper from side to side. I'm working towards this leg being straight. It's okay if your leg is not quite straight yet. You're just sending your hips back, keeping the heel gripped into the mat for leverage to help elongate that space that's available to you. Just it. Your left leg likely can stand straight when you're standing up tall. Now this is just a new shape for the leg to have access to that range of motion. But there's no rush. We don't want to push down on the knee or anything like that. So let's do a little bit of a dynamic flow between this Ardha Hanumanasana half split pose and low lunge on Janyasana. Breathe in on the so on the inhale, rather we come up. On the exhale, we press back. Follow your breath. In to rise. And out to press back. Once more. Nice. We're holding it here. And the breathing continues. So we hold the pose but not the breath. There's an option here to bring both hands to the outside of the left foot, left leg. And we have to feel more of a stretch in the IT band. So that's like the outside of your left leg. Once again, intensity is great, it's totally fine. We don't want any sharp pain. So sharp pain, you just want to go back to whatever the version was before. We'll bring it back through center. Bend in this knee and bring the hands to the inside of the left foot. We'll let that knee open and close, kind of like how we were in our deep squat. Letting the hip open and close. This time we're rolling onto the pinky side edge of the left foot. You can leave it open if that feels all right to you. Right hand fingers are spread wide, and the left arm sweeps forward, up, and back. So it's like a big backstroke. Reaching forward, up, and back. Last time. Forward, up, and back. This time we leave the hand here, reaching back. If you have the space, you can bend in the right knee, and maybe even grab onto this foot. So this is a really deep opening for the chest and shoulder, and the quad of the right foot, rather the right leg. So option here is to bring the heel in close to the hip. You just want to be mindful of the knee, or pressing the foot back. That's gonna open this chest and shoulder even more. So we're just breathing fully here. See if you can relax in the hips a bit more, because generally we get into poses like this, we resist, and there's like something waiting for us if we can just kind of let go, surrender into it a bit. And we'll release. Gently float that foot down. Arm sweeps forward for stability. Knee comes back up over ankle. We'll walk the hands to frame that front foot. Right toes tuck under, lifting the knee. And the left foot sweeps back. Plank pose. Deep breath in here. Exhale, we lower down halfway, chaturanga. Then toes tuck under and press it through for upward facing dog. Alternately, the thighs can be on the ground. We'll walk the hands and handprint forward, bending the elbows for Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So I'm just squeezing my shoulder blades back behind me to keep my shoulders away from the ears, squeezing the glutes to really press into the ground, hips into the ground, And the shoelace part of my feet is pressing the ground so hard that the knees are actually lifted. Got a full breath here. And toes tuck under, hips press up high for downward facing dog. Just finding your spacing here. Like paddle out the feet, first downward dog of class. Potentially first downward dog of the day. It is for me. Just let the head be heavy. Eyes stay open, looking between the heels or even between the knees. Inhaling, the right leg sweeps up and back behind you. Bend in the knees, stack the right hip over the left hip. Heel is coming down towards the glute, knees reaching up towards the sky. My shoulders stay the same. This is all about the hips. So we leave the top half of the body, the shoulders and hands where they were. Deep breath in. Exhale, tiger pose. Rounding in the spine, knee comes in towards nose. Roll onto the tiptoes of the left foot and bring the shoulders up over the wrists. Right foot steps up between the hands. Left foot steps up between the hands. Okay, if it takes more than one step. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the ankles, and inhale to a halfway lift with hands on shins. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Eyes follow fingertips. Maybe the head tilts back a bit just to give the throat a stretch. And exhale, forward fold. Little bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, hands down to the mat, and the left foot takes a giant step back. So you can get that space for the step back by bending in the right knee. If you keep it straight, you're going to be limited in your space, but by bending it, you open up a whole other range of distance that you can reach back in this lunge. That knee gently touches down to the mat, untuck the toes, and right foot is over right ankle. Inhale, arms and chest up over the hips, Anjali asana. Hips are pressing down and forward. I have space, or rather I'm stretching into this left hip flexor and quadricep muscle. We're waking this up for the later poses so that it's already warmed up. Right? Hands can release down to frame and extend the right leg long. Bringing the hips still over the knee. So I just have to drag my foot forward so that I have the space to actually stretch on this calf and hamstring. Your body might call for that too, so it's okay if you need a little adjustment here. The knee's a little bent, that's okay. We're not pressing it down. Instead, we're pressing the heel into the ground and pulling the hip back. So you're pulling it straight, not pressing it straight. Here you might windshield wiper the foot side to side. And then we'll begin to flow from one position to the other. So we bend in the knee, chest and arms sweep up for low lunge, inhaling. And exhaling, hands release down. We extend the legs straight for Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. Inhales, bring you forward and up. Exhales, fold you over and extend the right leg. Once more like this. And we're meeting here in this half split pose. Just breathing here. If your hands don't reach the ground, you can always have blocks. Or walk the hands more forward or back to work for your needs. And then we have the option here to even out the stretch like the other side. Both hands come to the outside of the right leg to get a stretch deeper into the IT band. And breathing fully here. So intensity is good, but you kind of know you've gone too far if it takes your breath away.
So sometimes something will be painful, you know, okay, that's the sign to back off. But another sign is if your breath gets literally taken away, you know, you've gone maybe a little bit too far. You can slowly ease your way back towards it to find that edge. We'll bring it back to center. Bending in this knee. Arms sweep up for Anjali Asana. And then hands release down to the inside of the right foot. Here we'll begin to let the right knee splay open and close. Ankle it so you can see what I'm doing. Open and close, open and close. Rolling onto the pinky side edge of the right foot. Then just leave it rolled open. So, it's like a variation of lizard pose. And then here, keep the left hand on the ground, fingers spread wide to distribute the weight out of the wrist and into the fingertips. Right arm sweeps forward, up, and back like a big backstroke. Got 3 of these. Forward, up, back. You just notice as you reach how the weight distribution changes in your hips. And the next time the arm reaches back, we leave it reaching back. You might play with tucking the left toes under, even bending that knee, bringing the foot in to grab onto the foot. So options here to pull the foot in towards the glute, getting an even deeper stretch on the quad, but if you feel that tension just in the knee, then just try this other variation instead, kicking the foot into the hand, helping to open the chest even more, giving that shoulder, right shoulder, and chest a stretch. So kicking the foot into the hand. One more deep breath here. Like pressing rewind. Release the foot down, release the hands down. Bring the knee back over the ankle. Hands come to frame that foot. Left toes tuck under. Lifting the knee. And step the left foot forward to meet the right. Big toes come to touch. A little space between the ankles. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling, squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back. Press the hips forward, arms sweep up overhead. And the chest reaches up. Arms reach back. Bringing it back forward, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, hands down to the mat. We'll take the left foot, the giant step back. And then drop the heels, both heels down, both toes turn to face the long side of the mat. Feet are parallel to one another. And if you're here and your arms don't reach the ground, you can bring your feet farther apart, and that will shorten the distance from your shoulders to the ground. Just kind of find the distance that works for you. Feet are parallel. And we'll sweep the right arm open and inhale. So really opening up the inner hips here. Exhale, hand comes down to the ground. Inhale, we'll open up to the other side. Left arm reaches towards the sky. Got once more to each side, just like this. Really working towards stacking the shoulder, right shoulder over the left shoulder as the right arm reaches towards the sky. And then the opposite with the other side. And let the hips sway with the pose, with the twist. So then with both hands on the ground, just under the shoulders, we'll walk the hands towards the right foot. Maybe you have the flexibility to reach to grab the pinky side edge of the right foot with the left hand, or maybe the ankle or the calf, if not just on the ground, close as you can get. And then with that grip, we'll sweep the right arm open. Just like before, we're working towards stacking the right shoulder over the left shoulder. Here now with this grip, you can bend in the elbow to pull yourself even closer. Imagine pulling your left shoulder towards your right foot to touch. So my goal isn't really to actually have my shoulder touch my foot here necessarily. That's just the direction of the body. So breathing fully here, even in the contortion of the twist and the pose. Release that hand down, ungrip the hand from the foot, and walk the hands and hips back towards center. We'll walk the hands over towards the left side, or towards the left foot. Option here to grab the calf, the ankle, or even the pinky side edge of the foot. And the left arm sweeps open towards the sky. So I'm working towards stacking the left shoulder over the right shoulder. And then this right elbow can begin to bend to bring my right shoulder closer towards my left heel. So just breathing here, this deep stretch in the legs. Releasing that top hand down, ungrip the foot, bringing it back towards center, meaning the hips back towards center. Inhale to a halfway lift type feeling with straight back, looking straight to the ground. So we still have length in the neck. And exhale, folding just down the center. So now your hamstrings are really warmed up, so are your calf muscles. So you might find you can go deeper in this pose than you usually can. Option here is to grab both outside edges of the feet, like pinky side edges of the feet, but with the same hand. So left with left and right with right. And then same technique. You can bend in the elbows to help pull our chest as if we're pulling our chest through this triangular space that we've created. If your head's hitting the ground right away, then just bring your feet closer to one another, and that'll lengthen the distance between your hips and the ground. So I'm just letting my head really be heavy, letting my shoulders relax. Just letting weight and gravity help me in this pose as I shift the weight forward towards my toes without lifting the heels. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide angle fold. One more deep breath here. Then we'll unhook the hands from the feet, bringing them back towards center. And let's walk the hands towards the right foot. Turning the toes to come along for that ride. Bend in the right knee. And heel toe the foot over to the left hand. We'll drop the knee down, or lower the knee down. We don't really want to drop the knee. You can let that heel come in towards the hip a bit. The shin doesn't have to be parallel to the short end of the mat. Tiptoe the right, or rather the left foot back, back, back. Untuck the toes. We're setting up for pigeon pose. So we want our right thigh to be parallel to the long side of the mat here. Back left foot is not sickled in. Toes are pointed straight back behind us. Take a deep breath in. Pull the shoulders back, proud pigeon pose, puffing the chest out. And exhale, waving down, belly, chest, head. On an inhale, we roll up like a wave. Exhaling, lowering down, belly, chest, Head, inhale, rolls you up. And on this last roll down, wave down, belly, chest, head, you come down to land on stacked fists, hands, or the ground itself. I'm reaching my arms straight up overhead, but you can keep the hands under the head as a pillow. Just breathing fully here. Every exhale is an opportunity to melt into the posture, to relax a bit more into it. Last breath here. Walk the hands up. And then just turn to seated, facing the other side of your mat. So the right foot is on the inside of the left thigh, and that knee is just splayed open. Heels pressed away. Inhale. Hands pressed into the ground near your hips, so you have a nice tall spine. And exhaling, we wave forward. Belly, head, chest. As if your belly, head, and chest are going to touch that foot ahead of you. You might grab onto that foot for a Janu Shirshasana. So just mindful, the right shoulder is going to want to pop up here, but instead we keep it in alignment with the left. And bring it back up to seated. Planting the right hand on the ground behind you. We'll sweep the left arm up, coming up onto this right knee, lifting the hips, lifting the chest. Full deep breath here. Releasing the hips back down. We'll turn once again, or turn towards the front of the mat. Tucking this toe under. We'll step forward with the right foot. Extend both legs coming through center. And walking the hands over to the left. Bend in the left knee for a low lunge. We'll heel toe the foot over to the right hand. Dropping the knee down towards the left hand. Sink the hips down as we set up for a pigeon on the other side. Right toes point. Extending the leg behind you. The hands are close into the body for stability, or just like for stability. Deep breath in here. And exhale, we wave down. Belly, chest, head. Inhale, rolls you up. Exhale, waves you down. Just two more like that. On this last one, waving down belly, chest, head. Just allow yourself to land however you need, supported by whatever props you need, maybe a block under the head or under the hip, to land in your folded pigeon pose. Now one more deep breath here. Pressing the hands into the ground, coming up to seated, or upright rather. Drop this hip onto the mat. So we come to seated facing the other side of the mat. Swiveling around, letting the left foot come to the inside of the right thigh. That knee's falling away. Deep breath in to get tall. And exhale, we wave forward belly, chest, head towards that foot for our Janu Shirsasana on the other side. The left elbow, the left shoulders gonna have a tendency to pop up, so we just want to bring it into alignment here. Dropping it down, keeping it the same distance from the ground as the right shoulder. And just like before, we don't want to be pressing the knee down at all. Instead, you just want to engage the quad, flex the foot, to straighten out that leg to the best of your ability. Don't get too hung up if it doesn't get perfectly straight. I still have some space below my knee as well. So it's really nowhere to get. We're just deepening a little further each time. Every exhale is just an opportunity to deepen into the posture a bit more. Bring it back up to seated. Left hand comes to the ground close to the left hip. And the right arm sweeps up as we press up onto the left knee. Reaching through these right fingertips. And I got a deep breath here. Just full side body stretch. And releasing the hip down. Release the arm down. Just bring both feet in. I'm just going to swivel to face the back of the mat. And hugging my knees in. Hugging your knees in, just give yourself a little rock side to side, little lower back massage. And then allowing the knees to roll over to the right. Right hand lands on top of the left knee. Left arm sweeps open. For Supta Matsyasana, pressing the shoulder down to the ground. You can look over the left shoulder to complete the spinal twist. Just pressing the left shoulder down. Otherwise, everything's relaxed. Just letting gravity and the breath do the work. Let the head come through center and knees come through center. And gently release the knees over to the left. Right arm sweeps open. Like the letter T. I'm just pressing this right shoulder towards the ground. Left hand's on the right knee. I'm not pulling, I'm just letting the weight kind of gently hold it in place. I'm just breathing fully here in this supine spinal twist. Bring the head through center, bring the knees back through center. Just notice, is there any last wiggle or movement or pose that your body's asking for? And allowing yourself to move through that intuitively. So sometimes a pose comes straight to mind, and other times you really just need to wiggle or shake something out. Really, no wrong answers here. When you're ready, we'll just down flat on your back, setting up for Shavasana, final relaxation pose. The feet come at least a foot apart, legs extended down the length of the mat, legs so relaxed the feet naturally splay open to the sides, shoulders tuck under to support the chest and arms release down by the sides, palms face open to the sky. A symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Head lands neutrally on the ground, eyes can close if that's comfortable, if not a soft gaze towards the sky is just fine. If you know laying like this brings pain to your lower back, you can bend in the knees, bringing the feet to the far edges of the mat, and then knock the knees together. Hips lift and tuck before gently placing them down for your broken bridge pose. So either variation or seated is just fine, whichever works for you. So I'm going to come closer. So we're really just letting today's practice integrate, kind of sink into your muscle memory, sink into your bones. Here we go. Just let yourself rest heavy here. Supported by the ground below you. We have 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. And allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose. Inviting your exhalations to become deeper than your inhalations. And every exhale sinks you deeper and heavier to the ground below. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as your jaw hangs heavy. And tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. A symbol of Chitta Vritti, monkey mind. I just want to invite that monkey to sit this one out. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets, eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles and the forehead relax. The whole head rests heavy. Shoulders and shoulder blades
Upper arms and elbows melt away. Forearms and wrists release. Palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, whole hands alive with vibration. Whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper, middle, and lower back relax. Chest and belly naturally rise and fall with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, and hips rest heavy, supported by the ground below. Thighs and knees melt away. Shins, calves, and ankles relax. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if only for a moment, that inner dialogue quieted. Notice if in your breath there's ease. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. Places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. And gently invite your inhalations to deepen as fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl. And every inhale brings you towards the surface. This head gently rocks side to side. That feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of lightness and expansion. Arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Knees can bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural. Landing in a fetal position, you can use that bottom arm as a pillow. And gently pressing your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position. Hands come to meet at heart center, just like how we started. Today we worked on a hip opening, on many hip opening postures. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to the community that held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me today. I hope you found something that serves you. The haircut. Ghost Floof, Evolve, how are you guys? Glad you guys caught the, what's it called? The singing bowl portion of class. Out of curiosity, Ghost Floof, that's okay with the crystal singing bowls? It's better than the metal one, right? I was hoping that it would be better for you to be stuck around, which makes me feel like it's probably better. Evolve, you're well. Thanks for asking. I'm glad. Good. I'm glad that you're feeling good, especially after yesterday's class was like really fiery class. I'm like, oh, I wonder if everyone's sore. Hopefully not. Obi poke time. Wait, puppy time? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Honestly, every muscle around my jaw still clenches up and makes me feel like I want to chew steel pipes. No! I was hoping it would be different than the metal, but it's still better than the steel bowls. Okay. Good, I'm glad. So yeah, so these are just lent to me from a friend, Alessandra, who's just an angel. And so I've had them for like, I think I was only supposed to have them for like a month. And just so I could like test them out and just play them for you guys while she traveled, but I have to give them back. So I'm just coordinating giving them back. So they're like a really nice set. They're like, I don't know, how many do I have? I think I have 7. It's like a chakra set. So I've just been having fun playing with them the last couple months here. But I think they're probably going to go to the next owners soon. So we'll make it work. We'll work it out. But yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's so many different kinds of shavasanas and things we can play during shavasana, all of that. So I don't want to get too hung up on one form or one way of doing it. Don't do any effort or consideration on my behalf, please. No, of course I'm gonna put some effort and consideration towards you. What's it called? But I'm glad these are better. So this one is like a smaller one. The bigger ones might be better. So on Sunday, I don't know if you'll be in class, but I'll play a bigger one if I still have them. And that's like a deeper octave, so it should be less like high-pitched and all of that. Looks like the Great Kind's on. Let's go see what is up with her. The Great Kind. Sweet. So yeah, so let's go. Tinnitus is rare. Too rare to care about. Seriously, no need to put the effort into your... No, stop. Since I mess with you a lot. Oh no, what's it called? I don't mind at all. I'm just doing I'm using what is at my disposal, so don't worry about me. Or it's not, like, for me, I'd rather find something that's going to work for the like everyone who's here. Because it's not like our community is that big, so, you know, there's like 5 to 10 people in class usually. So it's not that hard to accommodate 5 to 10 people, you know? And so you're important to me. Alright. let's go read The Great Kind. Happy Monday. Officially I'm back on Sunday. I don't know if I'll stream before that, but I'll definitely stream on Sunday. It is great seeing you. It's great having you here again. It has been a while. I'm glad that you made it before so we could test out the crystal singing bowls because I was legitimately curious about that. I hope you guys all have a really great week. If I don't see you before Sunday, I hope that this class helped bring some good vibes towards having a good week and that you are leaving feeling better than you did signing in, if that makes sense. So, namaste, value yourself TV. Have a great day as well. Yeah. Cool. Namaste, I'm 9 Easy.